Make sure you've got your correct aftercare for the next couple of days. Also, make sure that you've got some ice handy in the fridge if you're prone to post-inflammatory hyperpigmentation. We'll talk about that after. Make sure that you've got a brush to apply your facial with, and you might want some face washes or cloths handy. It gets a little bit messy with your hands. Just one final thing before we do start. This facial is incredibly versatile. So if you've got sensitive skin, we recommend performing once a fortnight as opposed to once a week. And you're going to want to massage the skin as we go along. You'll see in a minute. A little bit gentler just on the first go, because if you've never done this before, we don't know how your skin's going to react, okay? So make sure that you're going a little bit gentler, and if at any stage you're experiencing discomfort, then you need to stop the facial. All right, let's get started. So you can use just any kind of brush, doesn't really matter. If you're using a makeup brush like this, make sure you wet it first, otherwise your facial is gonna get sucked up in the brush. Or you can use a silicone brush applicator, so I use those as well, whatever you feel comfortable with and whatever you've got handy. So we are going to, just in a small container, mix your part A, so put all of your part A into a container. This is not choose your own adventure. Make sure you do put the whole bottle of part A in the container. Our facials are one use, okay? So part A in the container, and then we want to put a third of the bottle of part B. And then we're going to give it a nice little mix, and you're going to get a bit of a pasty consistency like that. At this point, I do want to mention that we are going to be changing our kits. So if you've got our original version, you'll be mixing part A with a third of the bottle of part B. This is really important because we actually do want some of the part B as we continue on with the face. If you've got the new version, then you'll have part A and part B in one jar, so you don't need to mix anything. So go ahead and grab some of your facial. I like to start on my forehead, just paste it across like that. This is why I like the nice silicone ones. And if you haven't already done so, make sure that you put your timer on for 20 minutes. Now that we've got our timer on, we're going to start massaging the facial into our skin. I like to start on the forehead, and we're just going to move that around just a tad. If you feel like this is too dry, then you need to put some of your solution onto the area. This is why we want to hold back some of our solution. And I like to wear a headband because my hair loves our facial and it gets everywhere. So I start at the top of the forehead, and basically we're going to work in circular motions, and at the moment we're not going to be applying too much pressure. So start to get used to it. It will feel a little bit weird. It's like massaging a bit of grit into your face. It's got that kind of grainy feeling, but you'll notice that it's not painful. It just feels a bit weird. So nice circular motions across the forehead. We've been asked a number of times whether you can use numbing cream and things like that. You can, but I'm not really a fan of numbing cream because you tend to find that you can't feel what you're doing. And throughout this process, it's really important to be able to feel what you're doing. So you can see here that is actually getting a little bit dry. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to apply some of our solution just across there. And so we're going to circular motions. If you have cosmetically tattooed eyebrows like I do, you can put Vaseline or Bepanthen or something across them so that you don't, well, peel away that tattoo. So once we've done our circular motions, just going to do a couple of passes. You can see that I'm going a little bit red. We're going to increase the pressure. Make sure you get the temples there as well. Now, if you have a highly pigmented forehead, we see this quite a bit. It's nothing unusual. We can start from the middle of the forehead and basically press a little bit firmer and go down. And then we're going to go up, and then we're going to move across, and we're going to go across the whole forehead. It's important that you're not actually rubbing or making any quick motions. We don't want to be disrupting too much of the skin while we're doing this. At the moment, we're really just concentrating on penetrating the sponge into the skin. Okay, so if at any time this starts to hurt, you are either pressing too hard, so you need to back off, or you need to put more solution on. So again, you can see that there's really not much solution sitting on there. So I'm going to just grab some more solution and put it across here. I do recommend, by the way, using a soft brush if you're using a brush. So we've gone up and down. We're now going to go sideways. So we want to start in the middle of the forehead. By the way, you don't have to use the exact same fingers that I use or anything like that. Just make sure that you're pressing, and then we're going to drag out. We're going to go back in, go up, drag out, back in, up, and then you're going to repeat going back down. Once you do this the first time, you'll fairly well know what to do the next time. If you're not satisfied that you have penetrated the sponge, what you can do, you can see the difference here in the redness of the skin. You can finish off with doing some circular motions. We're going to spend 20 minutes doing the entire face. So if you've gone past, 10 minutes on your forehead, you need to move on. That's too much. As you finish off the circular motions around your forehead, you can press a little bit firmer just to make sure that that's all penetrated. Don't forget the hairline. Okay, so we're going to pop some more solution just onto the forehead, just so that it doesn't get too dry. We're going to grab those bits of sponge that are left over and drag them down, and we're going to do circular motions. Again, not going too close to your eyes. You might just want to do one finger here. Nice and gentle. We are just doing a light massage. We're not pressing hard. And then make sure you get the sides of your nose. This is the bit that's really good for if you've got oversized pores, or if you've got pores that need to shrink and purge. You want to make sure that you get into the pores. Okay, so again, for those who have more concerns under their eyes than what they do anywhere else, pop some more solution on. I cannot stress the importance of putting extra solution on, because you cannot dry massage. We get a lot of questions around, can I damage my skin? Is it safe? The only way that you can damage your skin is if you dry massage, or if you massage for too long and too deep. So if you are one of those people that has concerns under their eyes, and you've done your in and out and you've done your circular motions, what you can do is you can just go up and down with a little bit of a firmer pressure, but we're not pressing that deep into the skin, okay? So we're just sort of touching, a little bit of pressure there, go up and down. And then you can do the other side. Alrighty, so you know how I said have towels or something, a close by. If it's getting too close, then just give it a bit of a wipe. All right, so we've done under the eyes, we've done the forehead, and I'm just going to, you want to be sort of constantly mixing your facial too, just so it doesn't go all gluggy. So we're going to do the cheeks next. We do have quite a few people who get the butterfly melasma that likes to sit on the cheeks. And you can see that at the moment I've got a bit of acne happening. And it's the same concept. We're going to make sure that we target that so that we can lift it and move it. So just make sure that that's all around and you don't have too many gluggy bits. You can see that I've got some on my fingers there. So we are going to start from, I'm actually going to pop some extra solution on my temple before I do that. So we're going to start from our temple and then we're going to go all the way down just to the start of the chin there, and then we're going to go up. Okay, so we're going to go from the temple all the way down to the starting of the chin, and then we're going to go up. Now, at this point, if you do have prominent pigment, it likes to sit around the jawline, especially melasma, you can press a bit firmer. Just make sure that you do apply more solution when you need to, when it's getting a bit dry. So we're going to do a couple of passes. All we're doing is pressing and then massaging up. So we're moving up towards the temple. And you want to do this a couple of times on each side. Just be mindful of the time. Don't want to go over 20 minutes on the skin. Okay, so from here, we can start to do our circular motions. So just hit all of the cheek area, being careful that you don't really go over the eye area, as it might be a little bit sensitive because you've already done it. Nice circular motions. You can increase the pressure. So for example, I've got some little acne scarring that's popped up over the last couple of weeks. So I would be giving that a nice little massage in there. Same thing with pigment, same thing as wrinkles. The only difference is with wrinkles, for example, if you've got a wrinkle over in your nose line, so you would want to firstly add some solution because I'm a little bit dry there. So you can actually push the skin to one side and then press and then go downwards. So you want to be following the contours of the skin. So press, go downwards, and then go back up. And then do your nice little circular motions here. Okay, so I'm going to add a little bit more solution. So circular motions, just finish that off. If you didn't get in here under your nose, make sure you get there. Just want to show you how hard I'm pressing, not really hard at all. So now is the point where if you do have a cluster of pigment in a certain spot, you can do the press and then go out. And then basically what you would do, say if I had a nice little cluster here, we would start from here and go up, down, making sure that you're moving up the skin as you're going along. And then if you still think that it's quite deep, you can go up, down, up, down, up, down. Gradually increasing the pressure as you go. So I'm just going to do the same on the other side. That's getting a little bit dry. As you can see, there's not much solution sitting there. Put some more solution on there. we're going to finish off with circular motions. You'll get sick of hearing me say that. Now, once you're satisfied that you have gone over the entire portion of your cheeks and your pigment, or if it's wrinkles or acne, you can move on to the chin and the upper lip. So, alrighty, so we are done. Now, if at this stage you are a little bit puffy, what we first want to do is we want to put on our hydrating mask. We're going to leave this on for 20 minutes. Just make sure that you've covered everywhere. Don't be alarmed if you are red. Very normal. And if you have gone a bit puffy, then grab the ice that we spoke about before and then just move that across the skin. Don't leave the ice on the skin because we don't want it to stick. So we're going to leave the hydrating mask on for about 20 minutes. It's not going to be a problem if you do happen to forget and it stays on a little bit longer. But at that point, what you're going to want to do is either grab a face washer and basically press. You don't want to be rubbing. You will feel the sponge particles in your skin. They will feel spiky. So you just really wanting to do a little press with a nice cold face washer. Trust me, you don't want hot. And then just wipe it off that way. Or my personal preference, jump in the shower, put your head under the water, and then just let it rinse off. The best thing to do now, after you've done that, is leave your skin alone. No hydrating treatments, no heavily concentrated serums in terms of moisture. We actually want to keep the skin as dry as possible for the next couple of days. There are two reasons if in a few days you're not peeling. Okay, so the first reason is not working the skin enough. So if you haven't done your 20 minutes or if you haven't been pressing so that your skin, a good indicator is that it's red. Again, everyone's gonna have varying shades of red, but the first reason is not working the skin enough. The second reason is overhydrating the skin in aftercare. So this is why it's really important to make sure that you do have aftercare cleanser, moisturizer only, no serums, no hydrating treatments, no concentrated wound care or anything like that. We just need a cleanser and a moisturizer. If you are one of those people that is quite comfortable to go without a moisturizer, you will find that if for the first couple of days you just cleanse your face twice a day, you'll peel quicker because the skin will dry out quicker. So the next couple of days, what you're going to feel is that tomorrow you'll have nice little spiky sort of feeling. Again, it doesn't hurt, but if you do go and massage things into your skin, it will feel uncomfortable, right? So just make sure that you're sort of nicely pressing moisturizer in, sunscreen. Please do make sure you're wearing sunscreen. It is an absolute must. We've just deeply exfoliated our skin, so we want to make sure that we're wearing sunscreen. Okay, so I know that's a lot of information. Just to recap, best aftercare, cleanse, moisturize twice daily, use sunscreen during the day, that is it. No special anything, no hydrating anything. Make sure you check your ingredients. We have seen the absolute best results in terms of removing and purging and the actual peel itself from people who have just used cleanser twice a day, no moisturizer for the first 3 or 4 days until they've started to peel. Once you've started to peel, you can use whatever you want, just not retinol. Make sure that if you are someone that uses retinol, stop using retinol 7 days before you do your treatment. If you do want to push along the peeling and make it move faster, you can use our prebiotic or our Marba detox mask, which will actually help lift the ready to go skin. Do not, under any circumstances, peel or pick or pop pimples during the time that you are peeling. After all that, if you do have any questions or concerns, or if you are a bit worried about something at any time, please do feel free to reach out to us via social media or our email, sales@windyigarn.com.au. One final note. I understand that you want to remove a concern. Please do not use our Nano Sponge Facial any more than every 7 days for a maximum of 4 weeks. If you go against that advice, you could strip your skin and you could damage your skin's microbiome and the barrier that actually stops all the yuckies from getting into your skin, and you could actually cause some significant damage. So, no more than 4 in a row once a week. So do please let us know how you go.